Hello, everyone. This is Leland Best of Best Life TV coming to you from my studio along the Shiawassee River in Corunna, Michigan. And we are about to start another episode of Best AI Podcast. Come on out to the Facebook page or the YouTube. I just need to know we don't have a weird echo. Where's my phone? Dang it. I have my phone. I don't have it now for some reason.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show, the Best AI Podcast, where we'll continue to grow. World innovation, where dreams become reality. Come join the movement, let's take AI to the next level. We're breaking barriers, we're writing the code. Together we'll conquer, watch our ideas unfold. The future starts here, joining the revolution. Let's say our podcast, the ultimate solution. In this digital age, we're breaking the mold. With AI fusion, let the story unfold. From art to business, the future is here. Unlock the potential, make it crystal clear. Yeah. It's time to fuse, let the sparks ignite. AI in action, reaching new heights. Love and business blending into one. AI fusion, the journey's just begun.
It all off, because I'm going bald.
Yeah,
I'd have a weird shaped head
you never know.
because you never know until it happens. The day it fucking goes down.
That's right. The conversation.
I did it once, and my uncle
Yeah,
goes,
right
"Dude, you look like Bubba's calling you from prison."
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna look like Stewie from Family Guy.
Welcome to Best
It's
AI
actually
Podcast,
pretty accurate,
everyone.
man. I think that's on point.
Hey,
Brian.
Leland, how you doing?
Doing well.
Where
We
do
are
we get
live.
these other? Where's this other riffraff get caught up in here? What's? I thought
We're
I don't know
slumming.
about those
We're
guys.
slumming, baby.
Hey, we need more entertainment in this podcast, not
I
just
know.
information. Come
This
on.
Brad guy shows up and all hell breaks loose. We
Yeah,
got
that's
nothing
right.
going.
Oh,
Brian.
We'll give him a break though this time because we just.
you
Brad,
go.
did you manage to get
Hey,
into your
wait.
new place yet? Did everything? That looks
Not
like the
yet.
same plaques behind you, so I don't think.
Yeah, we got another week. We're
Do you?
doing a little
Okay.
by little.
All right. Good
We
enough.
didn't. It's not like when we moved from Denver back to Vegas. We
Yeah.
got a big U-Haul. This time we're doing it on our own with a little bit here and a little bit there. So,
Cool.
dragging it out on weekends.
Well, at least you're able to find stuff when you get over there. That's the problem when you move it all at
Oh,
once.
no shit.
Yeah.
Labeling. Got to label everything.
Yeah, that's why you're living out of boxes for 6 months.
That could be.
You
So
got
I
it.
just want I just want to give a shout out to everybody out there that may be watching on one of several locations. We're broadcasting a few right now over at stage.bestlivetv is our home base where you can avoid all the social media and come out and just sit with us and leave your little comments in the box. Or you can head over to @BestAI Podcast on either Facebook or YouTube, where we'll be able to accept your comments and put them up here on the screen. But if you're watching it from anywhere else, we're not going to know that. So if you do want to have your comments brought up on the live broadcast, you'll have to go to one of those pages. So thanks for coming, everybody.
Yep. Thank
Let's
you.
Let's start with Mr. Lee Love. What have you got for us in the AI newscape today, sir?
Oh, a little bit going on. I guess the two big things were Google and OpenAI battling it out a little bit as usual. The guys at OpenAI, you got to love those guys. Talk about a bunch of renegades. So Google has their big announcement on Tuesday called Google I/O. I'll talk about it in a minute. So OpenAI, what they do, they move their announcement to Monday to one up them, and I'll let Ross talk about that. But anyway, so Google did their big announcement, and for me, the problem I had, they announced so many things. They announced a whole bunch of products. Some of them were available now, some of them are not. It was getting figured out which ones you can actually use and which ones are just research papers is a little tough because they're known for that. I mean, they've done some audio stuff, some really cool demos, but they never really saw the light of day. So I'm not sure where they are on that. Their big announcement, I would say, would be, with two big ones, would be they're going to do integration of AI with Gmail, with calendaring, docs. That makes perfect sense, right? So it can tell it, can search all those documents for you and tell you what's going on. And the second one is they did give a sneak peek. I believe it's called Vero, Vero. If I'm not mistaken. It's a video product, but again, it wasn't. It looked pretty good, but we didn't get any details on when it's going to be available. There were no people shown in the videos at all, so that's going to be a difficult thing to create. So it's hard to say what's going on with those guys, but they are jumping in with both feet. The other big thing will be June 10th is the Apple announcement, and we're expecting to hear them say they're going to make some integration. I think we're all looking for better Siri. And the rumor is that they partnered with OpenAI to provide that, but we'll see what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was kind of curious because Microsoft got the jump on a lot of people by connecting with OpenAI right away and incorporating the Bing engine with ChatGPT and making it free for everybody. I mean, that was something that I think kind of put a wrench in it for a lot of other third parties to jump in and say, we're going to offer ChatGPT to the public, as an interface. When you've got Bing right up front and center, how are you supposed to compete with that? So Apple sitting behind like it did, I found was kind of interesting, being that they're normally on the forefront of tech, that they've been the tail runner. They're like way behind on this.
Yeah,
thing.
they were even afraid to mention the word AI. They've only recently started using the term AI.
Yeah.
They've been using machine learning, but they're kind of, I think, one thing I'll say about the Apple, they tend to be a little bit behind, but when they do release something, it's very usable. It's well integrated. It touches all the points, and so it's a well thought out product. And I'd say that so anyway.
So before we go to Ross, because I'm going to have Ross give us a little demo of what's going on over at OpenAI right now with the big change to ChatGPT 4.0, which is the letter O, as in, what are they calling that?
I think Omni.
Omni,
it's an Omni
channel.
channel.
I believe it's Omni. So that's just a letter off from what they're normally running. ChatGPT 5 is kind of what they're saying that is, in a sense, but it's weird because they're giving away all the stuff that they were charging people $20 a month for. Now it's like almost everything in that is free because you can have your own agents, you can make your own little chat bots, and now it talks to you, right?
Have they made that free yet, Leland?
Yeah,
I have the paid version, so I don't keep up with what's on the free version.
The 4.0 is supposed to give you a lot of that stuff for free now. So
yeah, I don't think you have quite the tokens you can input, but still, it's still and it's going to be a little slower because you get priority if you're a paid customer, but still pretty cool. They're doing that.
It really is.
So I just wanted to touch with Brad real quick. Like, how have things been going? I know it's difficult with you with the move and everything that you're dealing with, but have you found alternate methods? Are you still tinkering with the same, tinkering you were when you started? Are you using the same just simple OpenAI interface, or are you finding other tools that you can use yet? Or
I'm working with ChatGPT, obviously, because I enjoyed that, but I'm being forced into things like Opus and other editing platforms because, quite honestly, production for my podcast is taking up a lot of time. And I've learned to do it quickly. You can't actually listen to your podcast. You have to edit and then go back and see if you have any of those weird anomalies that take place through Zoom and other platforms. So, yeah, I'm being forced to work with other things. So,
but you're using Opus. Opus is a pretty cool tool. I've been using that myself.
Well, it's great to watch how it can edit down 1 and 10 minutes, and it's intuitive in finding a lot of the moments in my podcast where it gets exciting or there's really this great drop of wisdom that comes out of it, and also you can correct the centering of the person and stuff. So I enjoy that. That's a lot of fun.
I wanted to show people the interface. I'm actually sharing the screen on my desktop right now because I'm running one for a podcast and the own show here that we want to do. Just to give you an
Well,
idea how it works, Brad, you can talk us
sure.
through some of this if you want. And can you see the interface on your end? I don't know if
No,
you
I can't.
can.
I don't
If
have
you open
full
the
screen.
live,
Hold on.
it's there. You can see it, Brad.
Yeah, or you can just
Uh-oh.
pin the screen in Zoom there where I'm
I got
broadcasting
speaker.
the
Let me
production
do
out.
this. I
And
think
you'll
I
be able
got
to,
it.
or just go to the account yourself. Not worry about it then. So
I can see it over here.
on the screen, does it look okay on the
Well,
broadcast?
I'm looking
On
at
the
it on
broadcast, it's
YouTube
great.
on another
Okay.
machine.
That's all we wanted to know. So what I did here for the Best AI podcast was I uploaded a bunch of the season episodes that we did. And you can see here I've got season 1, episode 8, 9, 7, 6. I just uploaded the video that we created from YouTube after we finished the show. And basically you want 30-second clips, 60 to 90 second, 3 to 5 minute, 5 minute to 10 minute, or the whole video. So I just wanted these little 30 to 60 or 30 to 90 second clips. And it goes through and it matches based on an AI's consideration what would be a good 100% viral type video, and what it contains is a hook and some good content, a really good follow through. So it breaks up the video, creates these little self transcribed videos, but there's a lot
It's
of
great
editing
that it can
involved.
figure this out on its own. That's what I
Yeah.
love about it. I've been having fun with that.
Yeah, and you have to come in here and cut it. The beautiful thing about it is you can edit each individual person's frame, because these are keyframed in. And what that means is their heads are positioned during the broadcast to be centered in the frame at all times. And that takes a lot to know how to keep those faces centered. It's not an easy task if you're doing other videos.
Well, let me interject here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Somebody
you're breaking up a little bit, Brad. Hold on just a
Lee
second.
has also been doing this, but
okay, there we
can
go.
you hear me now?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, start over on.
Lee, as someone, Lee and I both have we're talking 40 years of video editing, back in the day when we still did it with razor blades and Scotch tape. And as somebody who does that, when I try to do a sort of vertical short for YouTube, I have to struggle with me being in the frame centered. I have to move me over almost 30% of the frame.
Yep.
And then the guest, I have to move back in a certain way. So I have to do hard cuts and keep the audio as a base underneath, and separate each of the visual layers, away from each other. So it's a lot of work, and this does it automatically.
Yeah,
That's what's amazing about it. It will center the guest. It'll center you in the center of the frame, or it's squeezed together. You can see there with Ross and Leland on the screen. You're side by side. So it takes those side by side videos and edits them properly. So it's an incredible tool, and it works incredibly fast.
The thing is it'll actually create 10 of those. So if I tell it, excuse me,
and it does it fast.
Yeah, to just run through the video, it takes about 5 minutes to upload it, and then another 5 or 10 for it to process these. And I get these categorized, 85% out of 100, like which ones are the better ones. Right. And you still have to go through and sometimes edit where it clips front to back, and add a sentence or take a sentence out or whatever to make it more appropriate. But it allows you to export these with XML captions. It allows you to share right from here and auto post through their scheduler. It allows you to download in up to 4K. So as far as a small snippet creator that right now is honestly one of the cheapest in the market, you can go get 4 hours, 60 hours, worth of time for the year for $144. It's literally like dirt cheap to do that.
It's great.
So, but next year, it cost you a little more.
they've added something. That you can also do wide also. So you don't have to just do vertical.
Yes.
So sometimes I'll just take it and help me caption my widescreen video as well. It's another way.
And a lot of the people you see on those networks right now are using software like this. You see the little clips on the screen here as I'm going to share this. These are some of the examples of people using these apps all the time to cut these little snippets. It's not the only app. There's tons of them that do it. There's several of them out there now. Ross could probably mention a couple names. HipClip,
Minvo,
Munch.
I actually just got rid of Munch because I bought an LTD. I'll have to look and see which one it is. I haven't played with it yet, but like you said, there are so many out there.
Yeah. So I've been using another one I've been using is called Pictory right now, which allows it's more different. So it'll take a script and turn it into a video. And that's kind of cool. So that will take So if you don't have a video, if I already got a script, which I've already written for 11 Labs or something, I can feed that, and it will then go out and do stock photos, pull that,
gotcha.
create a video with all that, and then I can edit my own. I don't like that video. I want to use my own, that kind of a thing. Something I wanted to mention along the same lines that Brad made me think of, fits very well. I predict this is going to be a problem for all of us here soon, and that is we are now paying twice, 3 times, 4 times for the same services. What I mean by that is a lot of these systems are using Chat GPT. Well, if you already pay for Chat GPT and you have a key, my question is, why can't I enter that key into this software without having to pay for them the full price for them to use Chat GPT? So I'm paying for them to use Chat GPT. I'm paying for Chat GPT. Maybe I have 2 or 3 other programs I'm paying for that uses Chat GPT. I'm having to pay over and over again for something I already own. So I think that's something they're going to have to address eventually, because it's getting a little annoying.
Well, they're going to have to do that. People are complaining over at Apple that they bought all these albums, downloaded them into their iTunes account, and now they lost access to them and they have to pay a membership fee. And so people are starting to complain over these kind of things. And look, a lot of us gave up cable and went to streaming. And now all our streaming apps are adding up to our previous cable bill.
More.
Yeah, and more in some cases. So this is the same problem with these platform convergence, I guess we'd call it. Ross, you might know better what we could name this, give it a buzzword. But the platform integrations and cross-pollination have to get it together a little bit.
And I'll tell you, to expand on that, I don't think anything's going to change other than we find a new interface for it. It was cable, and then you got the internet that came out, and you started getting Netflix, and then that was like a decade before Amazon really caught on, Disney Plus, all these streaming services came out, and they start low and they increase their pricing over time. And now what we have is, hey, you can pay $7.99 for commercial version, or you can pay $14.99 for with no commercials.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like, which do you choose? And they start adding up. And I think what's going to happen is ultimately something else is going to come out, replace that medium, and then it's going to start out cheap. Just like ChatGPT was free to begin with, and then it became $20 for the Pro, and then you could use your API key the whole time, and people started building new things. It's going to be that. It's exactly what it is, Brad. Here's your fix. Come get more. The first
man, I
one's
need
free,
my fix.
right?
Give me some of that Disney Plus magic. Yeah.
And that's what it's going to be. I think we just have to have other people come out and say, hey, I'm going to eat this cost up front. And it's a loss leader. That's all it is.
Yeah.
People who aren't familiar with marketing don't understand loss leaders, but what it is it's exactly that. Here's your first fix for free. I'll give it to you for X amount of time. Now you're hooked. I'm going to increase the price.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. How old are you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Oh. Amazon.
Going to honor what we told you we
Yeah.
were going to do, which was give you commercial-free television for a fee. Now we're just going to flip the script and say, that's not good enough. Now we're going to charge you plus.
Well, they're not
give you the
making any
commercials.
money is the problem.
They're
getting
making
killed.
plenty of money. Don't give
Yeah.
me that. There's me.
Amazon
Just-
Prime drove me nuts over the past month because I've been paying for years to get advertising free movies, and now all of a sudden regular movies are $2.99 to rent. You know, it's like we went back to Blockbuster's model, and I'm sitting there going, "Are you kidding?" And it's not even a popular movie; it's a movie that everybody watched
Yeah,
for
it's
years.
been on. It's 20-year-old movie or more.
I
in
know,
your band.
exactly.
We
For
just
some
bought
weird
Twister
science
for
is
$6
$5.99.
this morning on Amazon, so our kids could watch it.
That's awesome.
Which movie was that?
Twister.
That's for
Wow.
lifetime though. Fee though. Do you get it for how
It
long?
is lifetime, but and that's how I justified it. And even if it wasn't $6, you can blow that going out anywhere. And they
that's
know
how I
that
look at
though.
it. Yeah.
And they're like, but that's why it's cyclical, because we all forget and we all say it's more convenient to do it this way than to fight. And so it happens cyclically. It happens over and over again. So until the majority of people decide they're not going to put up with it, this is going to be what we deal with.
I totally agree. All right, we got just going to throw a couple of shout outs to everybody out there that is coming to see us today. We've got a couple in the mix. So we got Sue Ann saying hi to everybody.
Hi, Sue Ann.
Hey, Sue Ann.
She also says there's a big event coming up on May 14th, I believe she said. What did she say? With Canva.
Oh,
it's coming up
soon. Sunspots.
Looks like
Power's gonna go out.
That was today that the message was sent. And then, of course, we have Lee's cat gizmos. Must be Chester out there sending messages inadvertently.
Chester.
I forgot.
We got Chester out there sending messages. Saying
He's got a mind of his own.
Well, thanks for stopping
He's been
by.
a busy boy this week, Chester has.
And I apologize to Sue Ann, especially because I've been behind on output. And I just got to say, the last episode we did, we had so much audio problem with it. I just scrapped it. I may still publish the audio.
What? That was our best episode.
It is a fun episode, and that's why I don't want to just scrap it. But I couldn't come up with a good video real quick, so I didn't edit that content. And
ADR, man, ADR.
We'll get it out.
So sad.
It's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time.
I did want to throw something out there. In my, my podcast is my baby. So I was looking around at other platforms I might have been on, a little vanity search.
Sure.
And I found at ivy.fm this incredible breakdown of my podcast. I was like, who wrote this? It's incredible. And I reposted it. And I started to realize over time, as I was reading it, that it's probably AI generated based on reviews.
That's funny.
So there's like five beautiful paragraphs that make my ego sing, but it's definitely got to be AI generated.
Yeah, I saw that though. There are some sites out there that go looking for content that is just weird, and I see this all the time. People like curate it, and you might not know who these people are. They're just out there saying they go and gather like a whole search term of podcasts together onto a web page, and they use that for SEO to drive other products that they have tagged in that page or have links in that page. But they create like their own little podcast channels that you don't know about. You could be a part of it, and you don't even know you exist out there in that ecosystem. And they're all watching your videos and enjoying the hell out of them, but they're not part of the regular broadcasting. So hard to say.
Interesting.
Let's get over to Ross. I wanted to talk about ChatGPT 4.0, the latest version out. It's half price. It's doing more better things. It's doing chatbots for free, and it's also talking back. So let's hear what you got to say, Ross. What's going on over at ChatGPT?
All right, I'm going to throw a little curveball at you here, Leland. So I want to go backwards and talk about this OpenAI going with Apple. That actually intrigues me a little bit, because if they start going like, there's been conversations about Apple being a monopoly at some points with their Apple Store and Google being a monopoly with the Google Store and different things like that. Is anybody talking about OpenAI monopolizing AI in all of these massive platforms? Like, that's actually kind of concerning. And I hope Google pulls their shit together, because we need another competitor out there to compete against OpenAI. Because
you've got Amazon that's going after him. You got Google that's going after him. You got a Microsoft going after him. So
Microsoft's using OpenAI though.
I know, but you can see they're kind of diverging a little bit. Mm-hmm. So I'd say that it looks like it's going to be a pretty good fight for the whole, and I think it's going to be interesting. I think what's going to happen, we're going to find niches. Not going to be one that's going to do it all. You're going to find these guys do this better. These guys do this better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, the big money is going to be in that video processing, the text.
I agree.
If Sora comes out and just dominates, I think it's going to be very difficult for anybody to catch up.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'll go back to the demo. I just wanted to point that out there because that just hit me as you were talking about. I hadn't heard that Apple was getting ready to use them.
That's the rumor. We'll find out on the 10th.
Well, we're about to segue into that. Can you imagine if Siri sounds like this does? It's going to be game over. Like, it's just going to transform it. Yeah. So what we're going to do here is showcase, and this is a live conversation. I didn't pre-plan it. I'm just continuing a conversation where I told GPT 4.0 that I was going to be using it as a demo. and I told it to stand by until we did the demo.
Can you screen
So-
share the interface, Russ, so we see what you're doing on GPT, or is it on your phone?
It's on my phone.
Oh, okay,
so
cool.
I can't really screen share.
Nope,
I could probably, the interface is nothing more than a blob, and I can show you that. You'll be able to see it.
Okay.
So I'll show that to you as we go. But just to show that this is live, Brad, you were not a part of our conversation as I showed Lee and Leland what this does. Give me a topic to talk to GPT-4o about and have a conversation.
Bigfoot in the swamps.
Okay. All right. So when you do this, I don't think you can see it. There's a pair of like headphones next to the keyboard. You click this and it'll start talking. Hey, ChatGPT. We are doing a demo live on the Best AI podcast, and we want to talk about Bigfoot in the swamps. What can you tell us about the folklore out there that is Bigfoot? Or maybe even, can you tell us if there's any real evidence of Bigfoot out there?
Hey there, Best AI podcast listeners. Bigfoot, also known as Sasquatch, is a legendary creature said to inhabit forests, especially in the Pacific Northwest of North America. The folklore describes Bigfoot as a large, hairy, ape-like being that stands between 6 and 9 feet tall. As for evidence, there's a mix of anecdotal reports, blurry photos, and footprints, but none of it has been scientifically verified. Most scientists regard Bigfoot as a combination of misidentifications, hoaxes, and folklore. Despite numerous claims and supposed sightings, concrete evidence remains elusive. The fascination with Bigfoot endures, though, capturing imaginations and fueling expeditions to find this mysterious creature. So while there's no definitive proof, the legend of Bigfoot continues to thrive in popular culture.
She's quite a speaker. I'll give her that.
Yeah.
That was,
You're really good. That
I'm
was
impressed.
awesome. Everybody's kind of amazed with you right now.
wow.
Can you tell me, like, what would it be like if I encountered Bigfoot in real life? Like, should I run? Should I try to kick him and just run? Like, I don't know. What should I do?
Thanks. It's fun talking about these intriguing topics. Anything else about Bigfoot or any other mysteries you'd like to dive into?
Oh, did you miss what I said? I know it kind of got loud. Should I, if I did encounter Bigfoot, should I kick him? Should I scream? Should I run? What should I do?
If you were to encounter Bigfoot, the best approach would be to remain calm. Kicking, screaming, or running could escalate the situation. Instead, back away slowly and keep a safe distance. Just like with any wild animal, it's important to respect its space and avoid provoking it. Remember, it's always better to prioritize your safety.
Please
All
step
right.
away from
And get a
abominable
picture.
snowman.
Get a picture. Get a picture. That's my answer. Get a picture.
And don't shit your pants.
Yeah, right.
Well, that's
She said
I
remain
can't. I don't
calm.
have any control over that part. But
I like the interpersonal responses. Hey, listeners to the Best
Yeah.
AI podcast. That was cool.
And I didn't prompt that. I just told her that we were going to be doing a demo, and I was able to choose the voice. So I say her. You can choose a male voice. I chose the female voice. But this thing is super cool. I mean, you can even go in depth and say, I want to code this piece of a website, and it will build out the code, and you can go into your chat interface on your computer and pull the code and copy and paste it.
Yeah, let me just for a second. I've got the chat. If you want to go take a look at the actual interface video, I'm going to play this for just a minute. It's a 1 minute, 22-second video. So let me make sure I'm getting some audio here. I'm not sure you guys will be able to hear it, but at least the audience should. So I'll let this go through real quick.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey there. It's going great. How about you? I see you're rocking an OpenAI hoodie. Nice choice.
That's amazing.
What's up with that ceiling, though? Are you in a cool industry-style office or something?
Well, can you take a guess at what I might be doing based on what I'm showing you here?
Leland, I think you're still sharing us as the output.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay.
From what I can see, it looks like you're in some kind of recording or production setup with those lights, tripods,
So
and
she's
possibly
saying
a mic.
based on
It
what
seems
she
like you
sees in
might
the
be gearing
camera.
up to shoot a video or maybe
I haven't done
a
that yet,
live
by the
stream.
way. I need to
Yeah.
try that.
She's identified.
In fact, we've got a new announcement to make.
That's exciting.
what kind of mood he's in and
Announcements are
everything.
always a big deal. Judging by the setup, it looks
Oh,
like it's
there's
going
a
to be
little camera
quite the
button you can
professional
push on the
production.
interface.
Is this announcement related to OpenAI, perhaps?
It is.
I'm intrigued.
And in fact, what if I were to say that you're related to the announcement, or that you are the announcement?
Me? The announcement is about me? Well, color me intrigued. Are you about to reveal something about AI? Or more specifically about me as a part of OpenAI? You've got me on the edge of my, well, I don't really have a seat, but you get the idea. What's the big news?
Yeah, we've got a new model that can interact with the world through audio, vision, and text.
Is that amazing or what? That
Yeah.
camera was allowing the AI interface to connect with the environment that he was sitting in, able to see what he was sitting at and be able to register and tell what he was doing and possibly why he was in that environment. That's insane to me. It's almost brinking on the border of losing some serious privacy to the world.
Mhm.
So keep in mind
Yeah.
when your camera's on what's behind you. Just saying.
Well, it also, it also shows that okay, let's compare the two. We had a Google event, which was very staged, very, polished. And then we had OpenAI, which is very casual. She came out, she's the CTO, Chief Technology Officer, did a very informal presentation, had some guys come out and talk. Very different approach, which I think a lot of people connected to a lot more so than the Google event. And also what I'm hearing is there's a lot more going on. If you look behind the way this worked and what it could do, they didn't really talk a lot about it, but there was a lot more happening here in this announcement than they really spotlighted.
Mm-hmm. So how much have you used it, Ross? Is this something that you just started like yesterday playing with, or?
It's been a couple of days, and I was building a website, and our drag and drop builder that we use has some bugs in it. So I'm like, let me just build custom HTTP and see if I can build out a website. I don't code. I've been learning, but I'm not an expert. So let me go to ChatGPT. And so I started typing it, and I'm like, this is super cumbersome. This interface is just terrible. And I thought, let me try 4.0. So I downloaded the app on the phone and I started talking to it. And lo and behold, it was actually really cool. I had asked it, where do I even get this code that you're building? And it told me to go in my nav bar on the left and I can find our conversation to actually pull the code that it built. So I was able to copy and paste, and it built a really cool website. And it took me 30 minutes to build a brand new website, full HTML. If I really wanted to, I could go and fix little snippets of the HTML code, and it worked flawlessly. I just had to put in the custom HTML code in my website builder, and it went through. And then from there, it's just been kind of show and tell. I mean, it's super cool. So I've just been showing everyone, like, look, let me talk to my AI, and it knows me and it knows my company. It, like, every time I start talking to it, it's like, hey, how are things going with Maverick Solutions? How are AI VA sales going? And it just has that conversation. It's really a cool thing, but that's been 2 days and it's already got a memory of our conversations.
That's crazy. And
one thing about ChatGPT, I think when people don't, we've talked about this before, they use it as a search engine to ask questions. But if you will spend some time training it and tell it what it is you want, it will do amazing things. Like, for example, I was looking at some software that takes a video and converts it to a blog. Well, it was buggy. It wasn't working right. So let me see if ChatGPT, I just told ChatGPT what I wanted it to do, and it did it for me. It created a blog, did all the highlights, took everything, bold this, bold that, and I just keep tweaking, and I got exactly what I needed, pasted that right in to my website, and I got a blog made right out of my video.
Yeah, I created a WordPress posting machine out of an automation system called Active Pieces. And what that allowed me to do was, well, I can show a quick demonstration. Let me do this real quick so that people get an understanding of how it works. There's a lot of software out there that makes this capability functional. Some have it built into entire systems that just allow you to go into the software and write stuff and then post it into your WordPress. Others are just copying it out of their systems and using it that way. I'm using a Docker build of Active Pieces, which allows me to have a personal account of my own, indefinite and unlimited, rather than paying anybody to use it, because it's open source code. Get back in there again. I just lost it.
So active pieces, that's sort of like a Zapier, isn't it?
Yeah, in a sense it
Okay.
is. So I log into my own account that I've created, and let me get this up on the screen so it's full size. And what I created was this little thing called a post bot. Okay. And I did this for one particular project, combined two of them actually. I made a post bot and an X bot. So one would post posts to a WordPress site through a plugin that Active Pieces provides. So you basically create a spreadsheet, and for each item line on the spreadsheet, you create so it's basically a topic of discussion. And what I did was I attached a Google form to that spreadsheet. So what you can basically do, if I were to go to my Google Forms page and like open up a sheet and head over to, let's see, I should have one right here, AIO Postbot. So this is the spreadsheet that it created by filling out the Google form. And each time a line item would come in the spreadsheet for a topic, like why do you need a will and a life insurance? And what type of topic is it? It's educational. That was all it needed to be able to go through the rest of the process. It would go out to Ask GPT, act as an SEO expert, speaking fluent English, writing headings 1, 2, and 3, just like you would for a standard layout. And then it takes those values that it picks up from the form and creates that topic of discussion through ChatGPT. It saves the code process that it wrote and then loops each item in the steps. So each topic of discussion gets broken into heading category 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with subcategories. And then it goes through and loops that so that each of the categories is covered entirely, so that it's not broken context. It's going to go through each like an outline format, gets it, puts it into a container, and then creates the post. So by the time it actually creates the post, it's all in JSON, but it's going to look more like, you'll see the sample data here shortly. It'll create the entire post right here with all the content. And then all of this gets posted out to WordPress in an actual blog post. And an email is sent out at the same time to the owner of the post to let them know that it's ready to go. It needs to be looked at real quick and then assigned, final production, so that you can, if you have to add extra images or other context, you could, but it's a like pre-approval process for not having it ready yourself. And then an X bot would do the same thing on Twitter and say, okay, there's a new post out on our website, go check it out. So it was kind of a twofold automation that the person just had to come up with a single topic of discussion and everything's done for you.
So you're telling me I can add active pieces to my NAS just like I can with N8N?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm adding that.
Yeah, it's free. If you just run over to their build on their website, you'll see where it shows you how to build a Docker install. And you can run that right on an M1 or like Ross is doing on your Synology system, which is just a NAS drive basically that you use.
I've actually been super impressed. I built out a couple things on N8N now that it doesn't use much of the storage at all. It's just mostly the RAM that it's using. Oh, yeah. So as long as you have enough RAM, it's going to process it through because you're not actually hosting hard data. So it's really nice.
Yeah, it's just the connecting point. And we have one, if you're watching the tweets out at Best Studios, all the tweets that go out, here, I'll show you what's going out right now. Ross mentioned N8N, or what's pronounced as Nathan, is N8N.io, which is another back behind the scenes automation system, node builder, basically. All of these tweets that have been going out every 6 hours on Best Studios regarding Best AI Podcast are being done automatically. I'm not doing anything. ChatGPT is creating the prompt. It's creating the tweet. It's checking the tweet to make sure it abides by the rules of Twitter before it actually posts the tweet, to make sure it's the right length of characters, that it doesn't have any content that's inalienable to Twitter, that it would kick it back. And it just continues to add emojis and tweets every 6 hours to broadcast
Leland,
us. So,
have you updated that to 4.0 or is that still 4.0?
That one's still using 3.5, honestly.
Oh, 3.5 turbo or regular?
Yeah, it seems to work just fine for what I'm doing on Twitter. These little 140 count posts, or 250, I think I'm using. Yeah, 250 are just fine. It's capable of giving me what I want. because I'm just asking for a few hashtags, some simple like insights to AI, maybe a news blurb, and then our link to the podcast. And that
Let
does
me
too
ask
much
you this,
for you.
Leland. Are you using one specific hashtag that you tell it to keep every single time so that you can actually create your own like Google search of your hashtags?
I should be. Best AI podcast is one of them, obviously. BAIP is another one, but no, I have not assigned like specifics because we should. Best AI podcast is really the one we would hold dear to. But there will be like AI Fusion would be another one we could use. I don't know where we stand on the AI Fusion group right now. It's kind of a
It is completely inactive, but
okay.
essentially we could pick it up at any time. I've not touched it in a little while, but we need to.
I want to get the workshops going, and I keep talking about it, but I've been reluctant because of there's just so much fluidity in AI right now.
It's hard.
I want to wait until there's a soft landing spot where we can say, okay, they've kind of solidified this, which I think 4.0 is that.
Yeah, let me know when that's going to happen. Will you, Leland? I'm
In a
kind
sense,
of.
you know what I mean.
Will that be in a year,
I'll
10
set
years,
that.
5
yeah,
years?
I need
We
to
don't
know when
know.
that's. I need to
4.0
know so I
is
can take a
close,
nap.
but we've got
Skynet
what we
goes
need
live.
now. We've got text, video, audio, imagery, all in one kind of thing. So we're getting there. It's kind of close. I think we're getting there. So I'm going to kind of hold true to that and some of the new automation systems that are coming out. And Best AI TV is a YouTube channel I've created that I'm going to start broadcasting stuff to for software usage, where AI is being used in software and through the market. That's going to be daily.
Leland, it might be easier to say where isn't it being used every day?
Yeah,
yeah.
Software.
It's true.
I can't get away from it anymore. It's everywhere. So how do we deal with that? How do we incorporate it into everything and accept it? Or should we? Is the big question, I think. Should we let AI take over all this stuff?
Well, I listened to an interview with Sam Altman this morning earlier, and president or CEO of OpenAI, and he was talking about something I found very interesting. He was saying, do I want AI to take over, be me, or do I want it to be an assistant? He says those are one or two options you can select, and I think he agrees with me. And I don't want it to be a clone. I want it to be my assistant. I don't have a problem if it has a different name. It says, "Hi, I'm responding on behalf of Lee. Here, he's busy right now. Here's what's going on. How can I help you?" Kind of a thing. Respond, and then if there's something that needs me to get involved in, but it should be able to filter some of this stuff, so I'm not dealing with the 275 emails I get every day.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll tell you.
Go ahead.
I want it to do both. I'm not gonna lie. I want my cake and I want to eat it too.
Yeah.
And I think AI is actually one of the first things in history that's going to allow us to do that. Yeah. I absolutely despise being on social media every day. I think it's a time suck. And I think it keeps me from being productive in what I need to do to help our society as a whole.
Yeah.
So I want AI to imitate me in my comments because it's a necessity. I have to go comment on other people's posts to be able to get people to engage on my posts, which then lead to getting people to see what I can do to benefit them, to help them scale a business and do different things. So in that instance, I want it to clone me. I want it to understand that I want to uplift people. I want to promote people. I want to be a positive energy out there. And I want to respond in a like manner. But I don't want to go out there and respond 100 times a day that you need to make this thing work. And then I want to be able to post 1 to 2 times a day and have people interact with that. The posts that I make are 100% me. I don't want to replace me with AI. I think that's a dangerous piece. But the comments that go out on other people that promote their posts and help get engagement up on their posts, I want that to be AI. I want my assistant to do that. But it has to do that as me to be able to make that happen.
Yeah, and I like that approach of knowing that the AI is representative of you and not itself, even in that regard, because I see a lot of the AI response bots. We started those 10 years ago with Chat Fuel and some others where we were using Dialogflow to go in and create the small talk and all that, where people could start these conversations and have them go out and answer posts and comment view, that were going on Facebook. But it was kind of repetitive. Every time someone would leave a comment, the bot would just answer with the same answer every time. Well, thanks for leaving a comment. We appreciate you coming by. Go check us out at blah, blah, blah. And it was like 40 times down the comment list that you got the same post over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't much you could do but spin text a few options and throw in like 4 or 5 different options that it could go through. Now we've got a chat device that actually can think for itself, let's just say it, and do that conversation organically. So you don't have to think about the prompting and all that. Has to be.
So Sue Ann brought up a good question when I brought last week or whenever we were talking about this last time. She said, well, is that really considered social media then? Because it's not really you, it's not really people. If you got people, we got bots talking to each other, then we could just go off and do something else. Let them handle it all.
That's great. What did she have to say? She's saying LinkedIn profiles are spitting AI content for you that are untrue. They aren't asking first, and folks aren't too happy. I didn't hear about this. Is this
I didn't either. She was telling me about that it's modifying your bio.
Oh,
and the other thing that I learned was that when you answer these questions, I don't know if you've been on, hey, can you answer this question? What the other complaint is, people are saying they're using that to train their AI engine, their AI LLM. And so people are like, wait a minute, why am I telling it how to do its job, how to answer this and get me out of work me out of a job, which I don't agree with, but that was kind of an interesting perspective. So by answering their question, you're basically training their bot.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and I'll say I think this is not an AI problem. I think this is an algorithm, which kind of is AI, but it's on the back end. It's the Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram algorithm that causes this problem. And so if you want to compete, I mean, I'm literally commenting 1,000 times a month with my AI right now as me versus you out there who's not using AI. How many times are you commenting on people's posts and getting your engagement up on your post because you're doing it? I think it's the adaptation of, we now have these new fancy tools in AI that do this to tweak the AI that's on the back end of the algorithm with these social media platforms. And if they want to, and at the end of the day, let's break this down, right? Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, all they're trying to do is keep viewership on their platform and from going from to somewhere else. So I don't know that they're going to even tweak this until people stop engaging with the AI content and start ignoring it. And then I think we'll see them go away from it. But I think we're going to see a meta right now of AI is going to take over social media. And I don't think it's going to become social for a long time, but I think it's become moving in that direction. For about 5 to 10 years now, business owners have started seeing, hey, there are billions of people on these platforms that are using this personally. Let me market directly where they are instead of commercials on TV. So now AI is the next iteration of automating that. And until something changes and the public says, I can tell that this is AI, I think we're going to go through about a year or two, maybe 5 years of this automated AI. And at that point, is AI going to advance faster than what people can understand it's AI?
Yeah.
And that's, I think where it's going to take it.
I think it's going to advance faster than we may anticipate. And, I always look at the bigger picture on everything. So this is part of the development phase of a much bigger network. So they want robots, and they want, we already have the Internet of Things, where things are communicating now. And I believe this is the first step of declassifying artificial intelligence put in our hands, but we're really getting ready for a vast, global Wi-Fi network that's just going to intercommunicate between us and products. And, your refrigerator and your toaster and your Tesla are all going to talk to each other. Yeah. And eventually robots will have access to that. You can see what's coming down the pike because they're pushing it like crazy. So I see a much bigger picture with AI. And it's going to be super smooth in the beginning, to the point of being, you remember when digital recordings started to replace, good music, and you just started to hear this hyper produced music and you're just sitting there going, okay, it has a nice beat, but it's a little too perfect.
I know we
That's
wanted the
kinda-
vinyl scratch back. It was
Yeah,
like,
we want the
we
ugly.
want the little pops and cracks that go on with the music, and it went away, and we couldn't
Well, at least you want
understand
that
what was
emotion
going
in
on.
the music.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was so weird. It was a weird experience. I just want to
Yeah.
touch base on one more of Sue Ann's comments before I let her go, because we're coming
Sue
close to
Ann.
the hour here. She mentioned that the other part of the question discussion on LinkedIn is that they asked if the commenters are vetted. Quality question. I'm not sure exactly what she means there. So if you want to open that up a little bit, Sue Ann, I'll be happy to talk
I
about
think
it.
what she's asking is the point I brought up, where it will ask these questions, and if you answer 3 of them, you get a little bonus, some kind of little.
I
And so what
see.
she's saying
Okay.
is, I think what she's asking is, well, who are these people that are answering these questions,
Okay.
and who you know? So that's
knows?
another thing. Garbage in, garbage out. You know.
Kind of like fact checkers.
So what we should do is just have Chat GPT answer the question and then feed it back to them.
Yeah, why not? Oh, that's another thing I wanted to mention. I did have an article in the Facebook group. If you want to go check it out. Now, for some reason, the link to Google DeepMind's text-to-video model, VO, is not working correctly. I'll try to fix that. But it was the one a couple below that on Microsoft turning everyone into a prompt engineer. If you follow that link, it's basically showing how Copilot is now offering some extra features in there for the prompting, so that you can not only autocomplete, but have Bing rewrite the prompt for you to be more appropriate to what you're looking for. So it kind of understands what you want based on your prompt, initial prompt, but it's going to say what you could do to make it better. So having these little incorporations, and I'll just give you an example of where you can find that. It's down at the bottom of the Copilot interface. You'll see here you can ask it to summarize, catch me up, or do whatever, but it helps you to go through the prompts and work through them a little better. It allows you to view prompts from previous entries as well, and just make modifications to those. So take a look at that article. It's by The Verge. It's just a couple down from the article on Google's DeepMind coming in with their new video creator. So just a few scrolls down the page and you'll find it.
Well, as we start using more and more voice, I guess it could still rewrite your prompt, but you're going to be prompting by talking to the computer now. We all have our different ways of speaking and how we approach it. So that would still be an issue, but it'd certainly be a lot easier being a prompt engineer. I'm not sure that's a weird term.
Well, it should be no different than Amazon Alexa. Each time you talk to Amazon, it records what you say, and you can go back and actually review all the recordings that are made of you if you don't tell Google tell Alexa not to save those. So they have an entire library of every time you've said, "Hey Alexa," it has a recording of your voice. So that my son used to actually go. He was part of the what's that Amazon thing? Starts with an M. There's like a back end system where you can work for Amazon.
AWS.
Well, no. It's
ACX.
It's a marketplace thing that they do. It's where you can work for Amazon.
Oh,
they will send you the prompts that people give to Alexa in voice recordings, and you review them for a fee. You get paid to do this. They have people sign up as kind of affiliates, you might say. They listen to these recordings that are open source because you allowed Alexa to record your voice. They go in and they listen to them and tell Amazon whether they responded appropriately to the request. And that's how they train Alexa. They go in and they literally listen to all the recordings that people say, and then see what Alexa did and say, nope, they did the wrong thing, or they answered incorrectly, or they should have said this. And that's how they train these things. So
I guess if you just say, "You stupid BIT," that's not enough. That won't teach it enough. That won't learn from that, I guess.
But you get the idea.
You're a loser. Your father never loved you.
That's right.
You're adopted. They tried to send you back to the orphanage, but they wouldn't take you.
Why are you angry?
For all those orphans out there, we apologize. We mean no offense at all. I was adopted at birth, so don't worry about it. We're all
nice.
Well, that's all I got today, guys. I don't know what more.
I have a question. If that's all you got, I got a question for you guys. I've been playing around. I'm looking for an AI comic book generator. I've been playing with a couple of them. I haven't really found one I like. So if anyone has a recommendation for one, let me know. I'm still looking.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead, Brad. What do you got?
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna ask a buddy of mine that just did a comic book where he was Bookman and he was dressed like Batman.
Yeah.
And he used something. I'll find that's Mike Follett, I believe. I'll talk to him.
Another
Yeah, I'd
possibility
appreciate it.
Sure.
I just got a system that's an AI powered cartoon generator
I thought
called
that's what we-
Puppetry.
Yeah,
Oh, that's a
Puppetry was
new
the
one. I
I
haven't seen
thought.
that one.
Yeah, I told
I'll
Ross.
send you the link.
I told Ross about it, and he grabbed it the minute I said it. He was like, yeah, "We should be using."
I'm like, I just want to make my own Chester the Cat. Damn it!
Hey, I do have something I want to throw out here to you guys.
Yeah, go ahead.
I did a TED Talk years ago on how serious gaming technology was being used to solve problems, but the center of the talk was how millennials had been changed, their behaviors had been transformed because of the gaming industry.
Mhm.
And I put up 9 steps of how you learn in a video game, and it basically was the behavior of millennials right there on screen. I think one of you or all of us could do a TED Talk on what's coming up with AI.
Mhm.
And if you're interested, let's talk about it, because I think one of you could step out on that stage and be like, "Here's what's going on. Here's the future, baby."
Yeah, I have access to another
that's
version of
that's
TED Talk.
TED TED, right? That's not the real TED
No,
Talk.
we're talking the
No, real TED Talk.
This would be a real TED Talk.
TEDx or TED.
Yeah.
All TED Talks, by the way. All of Seth Godin's and Simon Sinek, they were all TEDx talks
Yes. Yep.
that wound up on the main site. So
Huh.
when people go, "What's the difference between TEDx and TED?" A TEDx talk is just a really put together TED event, just like a regular national TED event. It's just regional.
Yeah.
And sometimes if they like your talk, it stays up on the TED main site.
Yeah.
So think about it, guys, or anybody in our audience.
Oh, for sure. No, that's
yeah.
never a loss that we would want to avoid. That's one that we would definitely want to take,
because we have to warn people about the future and Skynet.
Warn about Skynet. All right, guys, I think that's all we have for everybody today, and we'll leave it at that. For next week, I think we're going to dig a little more into the video aspect of things again, because we've fallen a little bit shy on some of the new stuff that's come up. We've got Sora finally available to some folks. And we have some new stuff over in Anthropic as well with Stability AI. So let's start bringing our video generation prompts to the table for next week, and we'll see what we can come up with and maybe create some live videos as we go. The workshop is planned. That's my baby, so I'm the one that has to fulfill that obligation. I will be starting my YouTube channel tomorrow for a lot of the AI presentations I'll be doing, and in that process, you'll hear me start broadcasting the dates and times and setups that we'll be having for probably like 2-hour workshops where we'll just sit down and build stuff and stop playing around and actually show people prompts that work and prompts that break and ways to do negative prompts and things of that nature. So looking forward to working with all of you. All right, everybody. Awesome. Have a great rest of your weekend. Say goodbye. Let's wave to the audience on the way out.
Goodbye.
Call it a day.
Goodbye.
Thanks,
See you next week.
Thanks for coming to Best AI Podcast.
Thank you. Come with me if you want to live.
Gentlemen, welcome to the show, the Best AI Podcast, where we'll continue to grow. A world of innovation, where dreams become reality. Come join the movement, let's take AI to the next level. We're breaking barriers, rewriting the code. Together we'll conquer, watch our ideas unfold. The future starts here, joining the revolution. Let's say our podcast, the ultimate solution. In this digital age, we're breaking the mold. With AI fusion, let the story unfold. From life to business, the future is here. Unlock the potential, make it crystal clear. Yeah. It's time to fuse, let the sparks ignite. AI in action, reaching new heights. Love and business blending into one. AI fusion, the journey's just begun.